Breach attack simulation, AttackIQ, Cisco Secure Firewall, CNC Cozy Bears, CNC web communication. We're going to be in audit mode and we're going to have a little bit of fun in this one. Let's get started. All right, we're in AttackIQ. Let's go to assessments. And here we're going to create a new assessment, create custom. And let's go ahead and add a scenario here. Add scenarios, and let's search CNC. And let's look for Cozy Bear. What do we got here? There's Cozy Bear CNC web communication. That looks pretty good. After malware is dropped, it will run or showing a video to trick users, while in the background, it installs a botnet. This is the path that it's looking for specifically. Let's go ahead and turn on any Cozy signatures that we might have, or Cozy Bear signatures that we might have within Cisco Secure Firewall. So let's go ahead and do that first. We'll go ahead and search for Cozy. What do we got? And we could look for that path and do some other stuff, but I know that we're not going to detect this. That's the point of this exercise. And so we can look here. We've got malware, CNC, Trojan, Cozy Bear, outbound connections established, and it's looking for content galleria index.php. So that's not going to catch it, but we're going to turn this one and the other one on as well. And these are both pretty much the same. I don't see any difference here. So yeah, so I'm just checking here. This looks good. Okay, let's go ahead and block both of these. And you can see we can alert, rewrite. We have the ability to drop, reject. Lots of options here on how we might want to action this particular signature that gets fired. All right, so that's enabled. That looks pretty good. Let's just jump back in. Let's make sure we've got it enabled. That it actually saved. This is just doing some due diligence here. Let's go back into rule overrides, and we can see there's the two signatures enabled. If we search, there's not going to be any additional Cozy Bear options here. Okay, good. We'll go ahead and deploy this. I fast-tracked the deployment. We don't need to necessarily see that. But now that we've got the signatures in place, we can go ahead and run our scenario in AttackIQ and see what happens. What I'm going to tell you is that there is not a signature enabled that's going to detect this. We're going to get to that piece in a minute, but let's go ahead and run our tests and validate that it does fail, meaning that we're not able to detect or prevent this particular scenario. Let's grab that name. We're going to use that as a descriptor in our titles. We'll review and add. Let's add scenario. Done. Go ahead and rename the test. And let's go ahead and do the same here for the entire set of scenarios, because we're only doing one here, so we'll use the same. We'll go CNC. We'll call this audit. Let's just fix the audit. Let's get rid of that. Audit and the name, and we'll go ahead and check that and close this out. We'll add our endpoint. Remember, the endpoint's on the inside of Cisco Secure Firewall that has the AttackIQ agent that's going to make the request outbound. We'll go ahead and hit run now. There's no integrations. We could have integrated Cisco Secure Firewall into AttackIQ as well, so the reporting goes directly into AttackIQ, but I did not do that for this scenario. Let's go ahead and do go live. And I can already see web application flash video. I'm pretty sure that's it. This should stop in a sec. And it shows 100% not validated. Okay, let's cancel this out. Go ahead and jump back into the test itself, and let's just have a look here. And connection was successful. And if we look here, we've got a code 200 that we know is acceptable. If we look at observable details, we can see that request path there. So we know that we weren't able to detect this particular scenario. Now, I did grab the request path because we're going to do some creation of signatures. This time, though, we're going to use ChatGPT. I thought, why not? And here we're asking, now you have to play with this a little bit, but create a Snort version 3 signature in the following order in one line. Alert TCP home network to external network using HTTP ports with a message of malware, CNC-Cozy bear, potential web script, security vulnerability detected, with flow to server established, and HTTP URI has no value, content without brackets. There's the content that we're looking for. Metadata, impact flag red, service type is HTTP, class type is Trojan activity, and we give it a SID and GID. We ask the question, can you do it, ChatGPT? It's not perfect, but it's pretty darn close. So imagine if you create these, even if you don't know how to use or create Snort signatures, you can come in here now and say, listen, explain each line. I'm trying to learn here as well. And it breaks it down. Alert TCP home network to external network using HTTP ports, the message flag, the flow to server established, meaning it needs to be established connection. What content am I looking for? What does that actually do? Fast pattern, the class type, SID, GID, and so on. There's the summary. I'm learning a little bit more of this. And again, you can play with this. You can take this and try to import it as it is, and it's probably going to fail. Well, I know it's going to fail. There's a couple things that we need to change here. We need to add HTTP URI just before content here. HTTP underscore URI, and we'll add the semicolon space, then content. For whatever reason it missed it, and you could tweak and play with it to get it to happen. And the other thing is that we need a comma here between the content and fast pattern. That was not there, and fast pattern in no case. It needs to be comma, not semicolon. I made the adjustments, saved the file out. Let's go ahead and import it and see what happens. But you can see how powerful we can augment our own capabilities with things like ChatGPT. Pretty cool. All right, let's go ahead and import this and hopefully be successful. I create a rule group called Cozy Bear, and we'll go ahead and import this. Let's just check that it's here. It is. Let's set it to block. And we'll go to policies, intrusion. We'll go to Snort version 3. We're just triple checking that it is in fact enabled in our policy itself. And we can see now here's that new signature that we just created to address a gap that we may have identified in our testing. Go ahead and deploy this. And again, I fast-tracked this. You don't need to watch a minute and a half of deployment. Now it's deployed. We can now rerun our tests again. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll run our test. Run now. Jump back in. Let's go to analysis, unified events. And go live, and we should see something shortly here. Come on. Did we catch it? And if we catch it, we're in audit mode. We would have blocked it, and we did catch it. There we go. We didn't see this last time. And now we see we've got our reason. We would have blocked it. The impact score, the intrusion message, the Snort ID, the classification is Trojan, and then all the specifics around policy and all the good stuff, right? And there's that URI that we were looking for. We use ChatGPT to augment our capabilities to build out the signatures without having to call anybody. We were able to do this on our own. If we drill into this specific event, we can see everything around the event itself, right? The reason, the source IP. We can look at the host profile, egress interface, ingress interface, the domain, the device, the intrusion policy that was hit, the access policy, all the good pieces of data that we would be interested in if we were analyzing this. And we can jump right into this particular packet, view the packet in the web GUI on an iPad, even on your iPhone, if you had a secure connection into the platform. and you're out with your family and you've got this incident that triggered, you're going to be able to see that, or you can download it and open it up in a tool like Wireshark. And again, it just breaks it all down. You can look at and review the packet itself, all the details around it. And that's pretty much it. And again, this is done natively within the platform. I'm able not only to create signatures using a standard-based rules language, but I'm also able to come in and see that packet. I don't have to turn this on. It's very important. A lot of these attacks are one-time drive-by attacks, right? They get in, they do their thing, and it's over. And then you say, well, something's happening. I'm going to turn on packet capture. Too late, right? So sorry, it's over. Let's go ahead and drill into this. Let's look at this particular event. Again, it says not prevented. And the reason why it says not prevented is because we're in audit mode. But we already know Cisco Secure Firewall has already told us, hey, you're in audit mode. We would have blocked this if you were in preventative mode. So let's go ahead and make that note here. Next Gen Firewall running firepower. Next Gen Firewall running firepower threat defense has a custom rule that can prevent this connection. And you can put in here, ran an IDS and move into prevention mode, make some additional comments.